Good evening and welcome to Tribune Sports Live. He's Alan Taylor. I'm Zach Steele. Week 5 is in the books. And Alan, for the Hewitt Huskies in Pinson Valley, a tough week, but Clay Chalkville keeps rolling.
Yeah, tough loss for the Huskies this week, and they played a great game, played a good team, and then of course Clay and Pinson, one of them had to lose, and Pinson fell in on the short stick of that.
Well, the Huskies we'll talk about in just a moment. They lose 31-28 to Mountain Brook, and we'll get into that when we get back.
At Bryant Bank, we focus on you. You'll never have to worry about being just another number in the system. When you're a member of the Bryant Bank family, our Bryant Bankers will work to understand who you are, where you want to go, and how we can help you to get there. We're big believers in developing relationships with our customers, and we value friendships we make along the way. Bryant Bank provides unbeatable service and legendary results. Bryant Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
We played a lot better defense in the second half. Give them credit. They outplayed us tonight. I'm sorry to, all of our fans and everybody. We obviously didn't do a good enough job getting our guys ready to play. So I apologize for that. And we just got to do a better job. We're a better football team than that. And made too many mistakes. We stopped them in the fourth. That's a tough call we got there. There in the fourth quarter, we stopped them on 4th and goal, and we got a penalty. And it's hard to stop a good team like that 2 times on 4th and goal. So, but we came back and scored and just didn't get it done.
The Hewitt Huskies hosted Spain Park last Friday night in a region game, and Allen, it was a heartbreaker, the Huskies losing 31-28.
Yeah, it was a game of momentum. The Spain Park came to Hewitt Trustful. They jumped out quick, got up 21-7. Huskies fought back, tied it up at halftime, but then fell short in overtime.
Well, the Husky defense really was kind of caught on their heels a little bit in the first quarter, giving up 21 points. Like you said, they called a timeout, kind of regrouped. Coach Floyd went over and said, look, all we got to do is wrap up and stay in our assignments and we'll be okay. And they really were after that timeout and played really well in the second half and made a couple of big 4th down stops. But the Huskies, just couldn't get that final score before the end of regulation, and they lost it in overtime. Yeah,
when Coach Floyd called that timeout, he really went back and said things that a lot of coaches say every week. This game's still about blocking and tackling.
Sure.
And wrapping up and making those tackles is what the Huskies needed to do. Seemed to be getting in position, just had some missed tackles.
Special teams, again, kind of bites the Huskies again. Had another blocked punt in this one, missed a field goal. How important were those 2 things?
Well, that was huge. And we said in preseason, in this league, special teams can win you some games, they can lose you some games. And, with Zach being the quarterback and also the punter, he don't have that drop like a normal punter does, and so I think that's our 2nd or 3rd block, and so I know that's something our coaches will work on this next week.
Speaking of Zach Thomas, had a great night throwing the football again. He was 16 for 24 for 254 yards, a couple of touchdown passes, one an amazing catch by Noah Igbenogany. Costly interception in overtime, I'm sure, is one Zach would like to have back.
Yeah, a solid performance by Zach Thomas. He's played great all year, and it was another solid performance by him. He would like to have that back. It was a good defensive play. The linebacker just kind of disguised it a little bit, dropped back in the coverage, and got that interception. But and don't let that take away from the performance though that Zach Thomas had, because he just played a great game.
Jarian Street, another stellar performance on offense, 140 yards on 21 carries. He just keeps on keeping on.
He does, and he seems to be getting better every week, and he gets stronger during the game. He just seemed like as the night went on, he got stronger and stronger running the ball, which is what he's done just about in every other game.
Want to mention Elliott McElwain, too. Another nice game offensively. Got into the offense, had 5 catches for 73 yards. One of those guys that's kind of unsung as you look at him during the game, because he's doing a lot of blocking, doing a lot of the grunt work, but nice to see him get some catches in this game.
Yeah, and that H-back or fullback position in this offense, it don't get a lot of glory. And he does a great job blocking, opening up some holes for Jarian Street and for Zach Thomas. But what a great weapon to have him come out of the backfield and catch passes, and he did that exceptionally well Friday night.
So it was a really tough loss for the Huskies, a region loss. Spain Park undefeated in the region now, Huskies with 1 loss. What does this do in terms of playoff implications?
Well, obviously it jumbles things up, but I think you'd hear Coach Floyd and all the coaches at Trussville tell them, you know what, all we can do is control what we do, and we got to go out and win the rest of the games. The Huskies have an opportunity to do that. I think Spain Park is a really good team. I think they're elite in this division of Class 7, and so I think the Huskies are going to have to go out and still got some tough games left, but they got to go out and play their game and win those games.
The Huskies get a bye week this week. They get 2 weeks to prepare for Oak Mountain and that running offense that they do, that veer offense, I guess. So it's a good time for the Huskies to have a break.
Well, it really is. They're banged up a little bit, nicked up a little bit. It'll give them a couple of weeks to kind of regroup, get some people well, rest up a little bit, and then they've got a tough stretch starting with Oak Mountain in 2 weeks.
All right, when we come back, we'll have your weather forecast for Friday night. We'll also talk about the Pinson Clay game and the buzzsaw that the Pinson Valley Indians ran into. We'll be back.
Trussville Vision Care is now proud to offer sports vision training for athletes. This sports-specific training improves hand-eye coordination and reaction time. As a former college athlete, Dr. Steele knows how important perfect vision is to succeed on the athletic field. For athletes, 20/20 vision is not enough. Trussville Vision Care.
Play us a tough game. I think they're in that mental thing where had a rough week last week. For whatever reason, it just didn't work out great for them tonight. Pat Glover and all those guys over there, they're doing a good job with those kids, man. Those are great kids. And then I hated that they fumbled down here, and we tried to just, it's good to get the win. It's no fun, playing your buddy.
Clay's got a really good football team. My hat's off to him. I knew they had a really good football team. We played really, really well. We didn't, we just didn't do it. So, my hat's off to them. First play of the game, they hit us on a bomb, and we didn't work in that. We had a mix up in the coverage, and so, it is what it is.
Clay Chalkville had to wait until week 5 to host a home game, but when they did, they impressed the home fans as they roll Pinson 65-10. Alan, your initial thoughts on this one?
Well, it's kind of crazy that they went 5 games before they played at home. That's an unfortunate schedule, and what it does mean is down the stretch they're going to be playing a lot of home games, which will be good for them. This game turned out about as expected. Pinson Valley's got a good team, but Clay Chalkville is going to steamroll a lot of teams, and they just continue to get better, and they're just marching through their season right now pretty much untouched.
Clay scored 12 seconds into the game on an 80-yard touchdown pass from Ty Pickram to Simmons, and really for all intents and purposes, this game was over by halftime. Pinson Valley down 36-3. They were out of it very quickly.
Well, Clay has so many weapons. They have 3 great receivers. Pickram is a great quarterback. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. They can strike quick. They can put together drives. So they're tough to defend. And I think coming out of the chute, throwing that long touchdown pass set the tone. And after that, Clay really never looked back.
Ty Pickram, you mentioned, 8 for 12, 245 yards and 3 touchdowns, and his job was his game was essentially done at halftime. Nico Collins, 4 catches for 119 yards and a touchdown. Clay, 588 yards of total offense. Is this one of the best offenses we've seen?
Oh, it is. There's no doubt about it. They have talent. They have good blocking up front. 588 yards against anybody is a lot of offense. And Pickram, 8 for 12. He completed 8 passes for 245 yards, 3 touchdowns, letting you know they're getting some big plays. So they can strike quick, and they'll lull you to sleep with a little bit of their running, but they can strike quick, and that's what they did.
We mentioned last week, Pinson really had to play a perfect game to be in this ball game, and that just wasn't the case. Just an off night for most of their big-name players. Jackie Matthews was only 9 for 21, a little bit over 100 yards passing, threw a couple of interceptions. Torrey Hendricks just never could get going, 19 carries on 10 yards, and he didn't even see action in the second half. It's just one of those nights for Pinson.
Yeah, this no-name Clay Chalkville defense just keeps getting better and better. You know, had to replace 7-8 starters on that defense from last year. But these guys are playing. They're playing as a unit. Not a lot of big-name people on there, but they are playing. And that's Jerry Hood. That's Coach Hood's forte is defense, and they're playing really well right now.
So now Pinson, they suffered 2 blowout losses back-to-back to Gardendale and Clay Chalkville. 2 very good teams, mind you, and this is the part of that schedule we talked about in the preseason that we were concerned about. They get McAdory, an undefeated team this week. How do they regroup and get things back together?
Well, unfortunately, it's going to be difficult against a team like McAdory, and this is the stretch we talked about: Gardendale, Pinson, McAdory. Good news is when they get through this, I think Pinson has a chance to be successful the rest of the season and get into the playoffs. So I think their coaches got to keep them focused, talk to them about, just keep playing their game, and I think this team's going to be all right.
Clay gets a bye week this week, so they're off. If you're Coach Jerry Hood, do you want a bye week as well as your team's playing?
Well, the way his team's rolling, probably not. He just wants to keep the momentum and keep it rolling. Again, though, this mid-season bye week kind of helps with players that are banged up a little bit, so he'll use that time to kind of get them re-energized. But, yeah, probably if he had his choice, he'd want to just keep playing.
Clay's won 20 games in a row now. That's a 20-game winning streak dating back to last year. Pretty tough team coming down the stretch for sure. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Ryan Brown and his weekly football cartoon that's going to appear exclusively in the Trussville Tribune. We'll be back.
Tribune Sports Live is sponsored in part by State Senator Slade Blackwell of District 15. Senator Blackwell represents parts of Talladega, Shelby, and Jefferson counties, including the Trussville area. A former high school and college athlete, Senator Blackwell is pleased to promote our local schools and student athletes. As football season gets underway, it's time to say, go Huskies, go Cougars, and go Indians. Here's to a successful and safe year for all who are involved with high school athletics in our area.
All right, we're back, and we're here with Ryan Brown, the Tribune's new sports college football cartoonist. Ryan, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Ryan, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this.
Well, I've been drawing cartoons, seriously, comic strips for about 5 years now, and I've been drawing basically all my life. And recently is when I got the idea of doing comic strips, and I thought, why not create one for the Iron Bowl rivalry? So I'm very excited about it, and I hope that readers can be excited as well.
All right, so you're going to have a lot of inspiration this week after a weekend when Alabama and Auburn both lose. Any thoughts or giving us any hints about what's going to be coming out next week?
No hints right now. Everyone will see when it's released, so we'll just find out then.
Well, it brings me to, how do you come up with inspiration for this week in and week out? Are you watching the games and then you just decide, this looks good, this is what I'm going to do this week? Yeah,
I'm a big sports fan, so watching the games and just being a part of the rivalry, and there's no shortage of material. So I think that fans will enjoy it, and I'm very excited about it.
So is it just going to be Alabama and Auburn? You're going to throw some UAB in there when they get their football program back on track?
Yes, exactly. It's not exclusively about Alabama and Auburn. I do have some UAB material in there. I have a character for UAB also that I've worked in there, and being in this area, primarily the Birmingham metro area, I would be remiss if I didn't include UAB representation in there. So I think that's going to be a great thing to add to the overall dynamic of the comic strip.
Well, and you got a lot of material on UAB just in everything that's happened in the last year.
Yes, yes, exactly.
All right, well, we thank you for being here, Ryan. We look forward to reading your stuff. I'm excited about it. I always love cartoons and the satire of them, so we're excited about having you.
Yes, I'm very excited about doing it here also, and I hope readers can enjoy it, and we can have a new feature to look forward to every week.
All right, look for that in the Tribune coming up soon. When we come back, we're going to have a prediction, just one this week, McAdory and Pinson Valley. We'll be back.
Gunner Oil would like to invite you to visit one of their 3 stores on Deerfoot Parkway. Both Shell locations on Deerfoot offer delicious Hunt Brothers Pizza, one at Highway 11 and the other at Old Springville Road, which was a BP and now has a fabulous new look customers need to see to believe. The Chevron at Happy Hollow Road features mouth-watering pop donuts that are delivered fresh each and every morning. A proud supporter of the community for more than 20 years, offering quality products at a fair price in a clean environment with friendly and efficient service, Gunner Oil.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Well, things look good for Friday night. We're expecting that day to be warm and clear, and it will be the same that evening. Look for highs in the upper 70s by the time kickoff rolls around. Looks like a great night for high school football.
And now it's time for Tribune Sports Live Player of the Week, brought to you by Gunter Oil. Our first Player of the Week is Hewitt-Trussville's own Noah Igbenogany. Noah had 3 receptions for 87 yards and 1 incredible touchdown. Our next Player of the Week is Clay Chalkful's Ty Pigram. 8 of 11 passes for 245 yards and 3 touchdown passes. 5 rushes for 69 yards and a touchdown. He tossed an 80-yard touchdown strike to T.J. Simmons on the first play. And finally, our Player of the Week from Pinson Valley is kicker Saul Rios. He made a 27-yarder and a late extra point. Congratulations to all of our Players of the Week. Brought to you by Gunter Oil. Whether you're looking to buy your first home or you're trying to sell the one you're in now and need advice from a realtor, turn to Lee Marlowe, Realty South Realtor. Contact Lee today at 205-913-9559 or visit Lee at leemarlowehomes.com.
Paul Davis Emergency Services of Northeast Birmingham helps by providing needed cleanup and restoration services. Through the appropriate tools and processes, we avoid wasting valuable time to get your property to its previous state as quickly as we possibly can. Through our experience with restoration services in Birmingham, we can determine the necessary services depending on your property and type of damage, which may include smoke and fire damage restoration, water damage restoration, wind damage restoration, and mold removal. Paul Davis, Recover, Reconstruct, Restore. 205-687-0556.
Jefferson Memorial Funeral Home and Gardens is home-owned and operated by the Seal family. I've known Eddie Seal and his son Adam for over 25 years. They're community-oriented and, more importantly, good folks who know how to take care of people in their time of need. That's how Jefferson Memorial became Trussville's funeral home and cemetery. Jefferson Memorial is located at 1591 Gadsden Highway. You can call them at 322-0543. Before your need arises, let Jefferson Memorial family take care of your family.
All right, so before we get into predictions, I wanted to give a shout out to the Trussville United Soccer Club. They had over 500 people, parents, players, coaches, go to down to Legion Field to watch the U.S. women's soccer team take on Haiti. The U.S. women's national team, of course, destroyed Haiti in this ball game, but it was really neat to see all the people. They all had T-shirts made, and they were all the same. It was a whole section of the stadium covered up with folks from Trussville. They got to go and meet the team Friday at the airport. That was a really cool experience for some of those young girls. But I just wanted to say, it was a great experience for them, and having a daughter that plays in the Trussville United Soccer Club, it was a really neat thing. And Alan, it's pretty cool to me. We both have daughters. For these girls to have heroes to look up to.
Oh, absolutely. And this women's soccer team has really just caught on fire in the U.S. and they're the darlings of sports right now. And it's fun to watch them. And it was great to see Trussville's support of that this past week. When you saw the news clips, you could really see the I Believe blue T-shirts that stood out. So that was great. And for 30,000 people to show up at Legion Field for a soccer game, I think that's incredible and a great testimony to the sport itself.
Very good. So prediction time. We've only got one to do this week. Pinson Valley on the road at McAdory. trying to regroup, trying to get things back together, but another tough opponent.
It is. I like this Pinson Valley team. I think they're going to win some games. I see them getting into the playoffs, but I think they're going to run into another buzzsaw this week with McAdory. McAdory's 4-0, averaging over 40 points a game, giving up about 11 points a game. It's a good team, and I look for McAdory to win. I pick McAdory 31-21.
Well, getting through this part of the schedule, we've already talked about it. It's going to be a tough thing for Pinson to do. I agree with you. I think they're in good shape for the playoffs if they can close things out. I just don't see them getting it done this week against McAdory. I got McAdory in this one 28-10. So when we return next week, we've got 2 teams with bye weeks, so we're going to have a couple of special segments for you. Should be interesting to watch. For Alan Taylor, I'm Zach Steele. Good night, everybody.